Mitt Romney will officially launch his presidential campaign on Thursday. But over the weekend, he sat down for an exclusive interview with Today national correspondent Jamie Gangel at his vacation home in New Hampshire. Jamie, I understand that you were getting over a case of laryngitis, so good morning to you.
Good morning, as quickly as I can. Meredith, this will be Mitt Romney's second race for the White House, and he's considered the front runner, leading in the polls and fundraising. Just a few weeks ago, he raised more than $10 million in one day. We talked to him and his wife Ann about the race, whether he's conservative enough for the Republican primaries, and we got a rare glimpse behind the scenes at a more relaxed Mitt Romney, what kind of music he listens to, what books are on his nightstand. There's something about vampires. But we started by asking just why he thinks he can beat Barack Obama.
He's been one of the most ineffective presidents at the job at hand that I've ever seen. The number one issue he faced walking in the door was an economy that was in fast decline. He didn't cause that, but he made things worse.
Overall, give me a grade on his presidency. How's he done?
Well, it's failed.
An F.
Absolutely.
It's a preview of what you can expect from Romney as he campaigns for the Republican nomination, attacking President Obama as if it's already the general election. On the president's leadership,
this president felt it appropriate to go around the world and apologize for America. I don't apologize for America. I'm proud of America.
On Mr. Obama's foreign policy.
He doesn't have a foreign policy. The president has embarrassed himself there and around the world by convincing our friends that in some respects it's better to be a foe of America than a friend.
On national security.
He just doesn't have a cogent assessment of what he's going to do regardless of the circumstances. Is Iran closer to a bomb? Yes. Is North Korea more turbulent and assertive? Yes. Does Israel feel greater peace? No. The Arab Spring came, one of the greatest opportunities that we've seen in decades, and we've been flat-footed.
But most of all, the 64-year-old multimillionaire says he will focus on the economy, his career as a successful businessman, hoping that will help him win the GOP nod this time around.
So if this is Mitt 2.0, how is this time going to be different?
Well, I hope I win. I start off there. I want to make sure that people know precisely why it is that I'm running for president. And the answer is very simple. I believe I can get our economy going again.
You will also see a lot of his photogenic family. Married to his high school sweetheart Ann for 42 years, the couple has 5 grown sons and 16 grandchildren. A political ad man's dream. But despite his frontrunner status, Romney appears to have an enthusiasm gap in the Republican Party. Starting with Romney Care, the health care program he signed as governor of Massachusetts.
I understand that there are a lot of people who would just like me to get up and say, oh, it's a terrible idea, a boneheaded idea. It was just a terrible mistake. We're all entitled to mistakes. And there's only one problem with that. It wouldn't be honest. What we did was to solve a very serious need that existed in our state.
President Obama can't wrap his arms around you tightly enough. He says Romney Care inspired Obamacare.
If I become president, I will repeal Obamacare. My bill was 70 pages. His bill is 2,700 pages. In those extra 2,630 pages, he's doing a lot of stuff that is just devastating to the healthcare system in this country. He's wrong.
Another issue, Romney has to answer critics who say he isn't a true conservative, that he won't energize the party base, including Christian evangelicals concerned because he is a Mormon.
I don't have any question about whether Republicans and conservatives and Christians are going to go to the polls. I think the great propensity of individuals of faith said we're not electing a pastor-in-chief. We're electing a commander-in-chief.
The creators of South Park have a hit show on Broadway called Book of Mormon. When you first heard about it, what was your reaction?
I laughed. South Park is funny. I haven't seen it yet. I probably will at some point.
Really? Would you go see it?
Look, you know your faith has finally made it big time when people are poking fun at you on Broadway.
That said, critics say Romney is so buttoned up, he doesn't connect with voters. So this time around, the campaign is trying to show a more relaxed candidate. making fun of himself on late night.
Oprah is my half-sister.
Yeah, there you go.
To live on a healthy
More
basis.
tie off than on.
A friend of mine said, I want to know what he's like. Does Mitt Romney have an iPod? So do you have an iPod?
I have an iPad and an iPhone. I don't use my iPod anymore. I use my iPad for music.
What kind of music is on your playlist?
So I have a lot of 60s music and some 70s music, mostly rock. I like country music. The Beatles, I mean, the Beatles were phenomenal. But you know, we also watch American Idol.
You don't watch The Voice? This is NBC. You're supposed to watch The
I'm
Voice,
sorry,
not
I'm
American
sorry. I haven't
Idol.
watched The Voice yet, but American Idol I watched, and this year with Scotty winning, that was terrific. That guy's got talent.
What's the last book you read?
Last book I read was a novel called The Rule of Nines, which was just fun. A more serious book, I just finished President Bush's book, Decisions, and enjoyed that very much. I like silly stuff, too. I mean, I like the Twilight series. I thought that was fun. And I mean, my
you like vampires?
I don't like vampires personally. I don't know any. But my granddaughter was reading it, and I thought, wow, this looks like fun. And so, yeah, I read that.
Vampires and science fiction. I don't think anyone would have guessed this.
His wife Ann says despite the last campaign, people just don't really know her husband.
The public perception of him is so different than what I know. And he's really very funny. I love being around him because he makes me laugh. We laugh a lot. He's a total family guy.
Why do you think people don't get that? Is he just a formal, reserved kind of person?
No, I think again, I think, you know, the little glimpses that you get, they're not really accurate. And again, I think a lot of people may have only seen him in the debate setting or something else. They don't see him as a casual guy that he is. And most of the time his hair really is messed up. And
is a hair ever out of place?
Oh, yes,
of course.
all the time.
He doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't swear.
Not very often.
Not very often?
No.
I heard gosh, golly.
Well, but those don't qualify as swear words.
When you really get
really
out there, when
upset.
you're really going to swear.
There's been a dam or a hell from time to time.
Don't hold your breath. Romney is disciplined about staying on message.
What are the chances you're going to win?
Very good, actually. There's no sure thing in politics, but this is a time when the American people are really concerned about the scale of government. They want someone who can cut it back, and they're concerned about the economy, long-term and short-term. And that's in my wheelhouse.
You're 50-50 in the polls. You give yourself better than 50-50 odds?
Yeah, I probably do give myself better than 50-50 odds. But it's up to the American people, and I'll tell them what I believe, and if that works, great.
But he does have an uphill primary fight, Meredith. Polls show a large number of Republicans are still undecided. And as we see, there's a push for other candidates to jump into the race. We're hearing about Rudy Giuliani, Texas Governor Rick Perry, Sarah Palin's on her bus tour. And today, a group of Iowa leaders are coming to have dinner with Chris Christie. So, still just the beginning.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. You take care.